So now, since we have covered all the 5 constraints like not null, unique, primary key, check and foreign key, in this video we'll see how can we manage a constraint. Means if a table is already created, then how can we add the constraint at the runtime, how we can view the constraint which is already added in a particular table, how to disable that, how to enable and how to drop a constraint. So let's see practically all these operations now. So for viewing the constraint which we have already created on a particular table for the particular columns, we have the data dictionary here called user constraints. Here in user constraints data dictionary, you can find some columns like constraint name, constraint type, table name, so that you can actually see what all constraints are available on a particular table. So here I'll do a very simple query like select. We will have a deeper discussion of select statement in our coming videos, but here I'm just showing you like how you can get the details. So for that, here I will write a command like constraint underscore name comma constraint underscore type from user underscore constraint, which is the view name. Alright, where means I don't want to see all the details, I just want to see for my particular table named employees. So where table underscore name is equal to employees. Alright, make sure you are entering the table name in full caps so that you can check actually. So here you can see like the unique constraint for U, primary key for C, relationship means the foreign key for R, and the not null is also here as specified as the check constraint because it makes a check like the current details should not be a null. So it will also be represented as a check constraint. So check constraint for the first name and the gender, which we have set it while implementing the constraints in the employees table. Now, if you want to check like on which particular column these constraints has been marked, first of all, if you will put the name logically, it will be easy for you to understand the things. Like here you can just see the name of a constraint and you can check like, okay, it's for first name, it's for email ID, it's for mobile number. But if you haven't specified the name in that sense, you can also have a look on that such particular means column names in which you have applied this constraint, and for that what you will have to do, you will simply have to go for the user cons columns. Alright, that is the data dictionary. So here you can see this is a column name, so it will be easier for you to get that. So let's have a select statement for this. So I will select constraint name and column name from user underscore cons underscore columns, where table name is equal to employees. Alright, so here you can see in DPT ID it's employee DPT relation. On the field gender, it's gender check. On EMP ID, it's the primary key. Similarly on mobile number, it's mobile UN, that is unique constraint. So in this way you can have a look on such type of constraints. Now after having a look on those things, if you want to enable or disable a particular constraint, you can do that as well. Like for example, for a time being I want to remove this check constraint from my employees table. So for that what I'll have to do is I'll say alter table employees, now disable constraint and then constraint name. So here you can see like it's EMP underscore gender underscore check. Alright, so you see that is disabled, and now Since in this particular constraint I made sure like only M or F, these two values will be allowed in the gender column. But now since it is disabled, you can enter any particular character in that particular field. But make sure before enabling you will have to make the data concurrent to this particular constraint. Means if while enabling this constraint, if you have entered anything which is not acceptable by this constraint, it will not be enabled. So here what I'll say, I'll just say enable in order to enable this constraint. I don't have to specify anything else. But if you want to drop the constraint, you can simply remove this enable or disable, or here you can say drop constraint, constraint name. Now you cannot enable it, you will have to recreate the check constraint as you did earlier while applying this check constraint in this employees table. So this is how you can manage a constraint after you've already added the particular constraint on a table.